This is episode 226 of the Andrew Hines Real Estate Investing Podcast. This episode is brought to you by Control and Compound Financial. They teach real estate investors how to multiply their wealth using infinite banking strategies. For a complimentary wealth coaching session or to learn more, visit www.controlandcompound.com/Andrew Hines. Welcome back to the show. Today I have Mat Piche returning to the show, I think for the fourth time. Matt's a regular guest on this show. I like to have him at least once a year just to go over what he's up to and talk about mindset, talk about decision making in business and entrepreneurship. For those of you who don't know Mat Piche already, he's a force to be reckoned with in the real estate world. He has something like over 150 flips, I think he says. And he flips a lot of properties in Ontario still, but he's also investing internationally now. He's doing Airbnb arbitrage in Texas and expanding to other states. He's got his Airbnb vacation rental / second home in Naples, Florida. And we talked a little bit about that, the profitability, and overall just how Matt still has the ability to have a life, how he manages his daily activities, and how he delegates. This is for lack of a better way of saying it, sort of big boy episode. Matt, I consider to be a very well-established entrepreneur, and he treats his business like a business. He treats it seriously. He hires when he needs to. I'm sure he fires when he needs to, and he compensates his people well, motivates them well. Love talking to the guy, and I love getting his perspective on things, and I really do find these things are contagious, so I love to surround myself with people who think like this because it affects the way I think, and it helps me to perform at these kind of levels as well. Not saying that I've gotten there yet, but of course I'm working towards it, and I think you're going to get a lot out of this episode if you're looking to sort of pick up on some of those gold nuggets that Matt puts down. So just before we get into it, I want to remind you that the GTA West REI meetup is one of those places where you can get around people who lay down gold nuggets and think at a high level. This is the monthly meetup that I host with my business partner and brother-in-law, Jacob Campanero. So we'd love to see you there, June 15th. If you'd like to join us, click the link in the show notes for this episode and add yourself to our private group. The event is free to attend. We just need to know who's coming, so you'll need to add yourself to the invite for the event, which is pinned to the top of our group once you're accepted. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into episode 222. See you on the other side. Hello and welcome to the Andrew Hines Real Estate Investing Podcast. I've got back for the annual interview, Mat Piche.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Always good to be here.
Yeah, thanks for doing it, man. Yeah, I feel like we got to catch up once a year. You do so much stuff.
Yeah.
And your Instagram content, actually your YouTube content has just been hilarious lately. So I had to...
Yeah, we're stepping it up. We're definitely changing directions. Yeah.
I feel like you're underappreciated for how absolutely ridiculously hilarious some of the stuff you say.
I think the same. I don't know, dude. I don't know if it's YouTube got like a shadow ban on me, but yeah. I think the same. Not to be too narcissistic, but yeah.
No, not that. You got a great following and everything. It's just funny. Like that one video. What did you post? He's like, I'm going to tell you why you're not successful. It's because you're a bitch.
Yeah. I'm definitely more like free in the content we're doing now. Just with like the position we are in our life, position we are in the career, that I can kind of mostly like say what I want.
Just say whatever.
Yeah. Whereas before, I had to kind of toe the line, while I was building the business, but
because was it because you were trying to optimize the number of like partners you brought in?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now it's just like if you repel a few that don't resonate, no problem.
And I was a realtor, like a full-time realtor, right? So like I could say certain things, people could make complaints against me to like the realtor board or whatever, right?
Are you still like registered though?
I am. So like I only do like our own flips. Like I only have the license to flip or to sell our own flips, but I don't really actively look for clients. It kind of hurts the brand when I'm saying don't invest in Canada anymore. Like it's time to leave Canada. Then my clients are like, well, what do you mean?
Yeah, that part's funny. Yeah, because I know you've been very vocal about that. I am too, right? And it's not like I say you can't make money here. Obviously, you're still flipping here and stuff. It's just like you're pushing a business uphill in some ways.
Yeah, I can't, in good faith, tell people to buy long-term real estate in Canada when I know the opportunities that exist in Texas and Florida, and just like the price points, like the tax reasons. We can go in deep dive into this, but like
which we're gonna obviously go through many of those. yeah, I know you've obviously said you're done with Canada, especially for the long-term holds. Like the landlord-tenant relations,
crazy.
The hate, the societal hatred towards landlords is growing in Canada, which is like so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, and you must see it. See, I started seeing it too. I finally had like a viral Insta post, and this guy is just like, "F you, like die."
Dude, yeah.
Why? Because we're real estate investors with property.
I know. I just dropped a video recently on YouTube about like the reasons why we're not investing in Canada, how Canada real estate's broken, and the hate I got, the comments was like insane. Somebody made like a Reddit post about me, and just like the hate in that comment, just watching like
just
reading through it,
hate.
It was insane.
And it's like, have you ever considered that without landlords you'd be homeless?
Yeah, like they just don't understand the fundamentals. They don't understand the anything about economics, how the economy works. They just don't get it. They don't get it.
But they've obviously been conditioned to think like that. Like that's not a naturally occurring thought. Like that's pretty twisted.
Yeah.
But I find it humorous and also a little bit sad. But
yeah.
So obviously U.S. there's some places where the sentiment is still very pro-business, pro-capitalist. Texas and Florida being two of them.
Yeah.
The distinction I think we've both made is that Florida seems to make more sense for short-term rental or flip.
Exactly.
Not really as much on the long-term hold, but there's obviously that's painting a giant state with one brush.
For sure.
I'm sure there's some towns that that might make sense, but so Texas you like for a long-term hold? Tell me the story.
Yeah, I like Texas because it has a great economy. Like the tech industry is coming, especially to like the Austin area. So tech's leaving California, obviously, and coming to Texas. Yeah. So the job market and the economy is like surprisingly good. Like you would think, from being in Canada anyway, you always heard about Texas oil. You're like, yeah, Texas is just like an oil place, right? Yeah. But it's not. Like it's manufacturing, it's technology, it's reinventing itself totally. Yeah. So it's just getting crazy. They have a great sector for like medicine. Like the hospitals apparently in the Houston area, which is mostly where we're investing down there, is like the best in the entire country. So they just have a lot of different things going on. Low tax state. Like the landlord tenant board, whatever it's called there, is absolutely incredible. It's so
like get out if you don't pay within like 3 days.
Yeah, you get 3 days, and then you have to get out. If the tenant refuses to leave, the sheriff, from my understanding, literally comes in like a week or two and just drags them out.
Yeah,
there's no appeals, there's no nothing, there's no board to sing your story to. You're getting dragged out. It's you pay your rent, and if you don't, you're gone. Like that's it.
Yeah, and if they just did that here, like it would actually be better. Rents would be lower. Everybody would be happier. The tenants would be happier.
More builders would build.
Yeah, there'd be more supply. Landlords wouldn't be hesitating about renting to Ontario tenants.
That's what's so crazy. That's what I've been saying like in the videos lately with all the hate we're getting. It's exactly that. It's like the policies that are in place to protect the tenant is actually hurting the tenant. Way more because investors like us, capitalists like us, are like, I'm not investing here.
But if you say that, then they just call you a racist or something.
Exactly.
I'd love to get one in a debate. I say that, but then again, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because they just like stare blankly through you when you made a valid point and then you change the topic.
Well, that's the trend I'm seeing with like, obviously there's extreme right, there's extreme left, but with the extreme left is like, they don't want to talk to you at all.
Yeah, like, they don't want to be corrected or debate. They just want to call you names.
They don't want to learn anything. So like that's one of the biggest problems I'm finding in just society lately. It's like we can't even have a debate anymore.
Polarized. Yeah, like let's just hear logical arguments and sit with facts and logic and not.
Maybe you're wrong, maybe you're right, but that's the point. Is that you learn something, you move on, but it seems like people don't even want to learn anymore. It's just like, no, like you're wrong. I don't even want to talk to you. Like you must be an idiot. Like, that's the mentality now. It's crazy.
I never really saw that until the whole like the lockdown started and there was the debate around that. I never saw people be so nasty to each other. Actually, I would say like when Trump was running for the first time, I saw people be wow. I never knew people could be so savage to each other. Yeah, you've been on YouTube for a long time, so you probably saw it before that. But yeah, I saw that, and that's. Yeah, I'm hoping that's not an all of society thing, but it is what it is. We'll focus on the good parts.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've been doing arbitrage. I know you were talking about wanting to bring in investors and doing long-term stuff, and then more recently you said you're just going to show them, you're going to prove people wrong. You're investing in Airbnb arbitrage to basically teach people a lesson.
Like at first, like, I don't know, a year ago when I first heard about Airbnb arbitrage was getting more popular, I was like, dude, this is dumb. Like just buy real estate. It's way better than arbitrage. It makes no sense. But then the more I learned about the business, I was like, okay, it really is a good cash flowing business. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I want to speak freely if I can. People are just baby ass pussies right now. That's what I'm seeing is people don't want to do anything. They're just scared shitless. So I had so many partners wanting to be partners. They're like, Matt, when you go to Florida, dude, I'm there. Let me know. I'll buy whatever you want. Like, let's go. I'm ready to go. And when we wanted to like launch it, people were like, terrified of the recession. It's kind of when interest rates first started. And I kept telling people like, I get it, dude, but this is the exact time to buy real estate is now when everybody's kind of confused. But like we all know where real estate is going, which is nowhere. Like people always need a home to live. So people are just missing the opportunity. So I said, screw it. I'm going to start an arbitrage business. I'm going to show all these people that we can kill Airbnbs during a recession, and we're going to kill it. And then I'm going to show you all the fucking pay stubs. I can't wait to do it. I'm going to show everybody, and then I'm going to go see.
Yeah.
There you go. I did it. Yeah. Now do you want to come to Florida? Okay, I thought so.
And do you find in general, like once you throw that like proof of concept up, because like the social media end of it, like is so different for me. Like it's always been off social. Like it's just, you know, people I've met. Whereas you have been like, you raised it all through like YouTube basically.
Yeah. Like we raised all the money. I would say like we raised all the authority and the trust from YouTube, but I raised really all the money from Instagram, which is crazy. So like we raised for sure over $60 million from Instagram posts.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So you just put out like what you're doing, shared videos, and then you show the proof of concept. You got people warm, and then you say, okay, like you want to do this, hit me up kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very basic model, but like that's honestly what I think works in the new world is social media, obviously. It's just easier. I'm introverted, so I like to sit here and shoot videos. Like that's what I like to do rather than going to meetings and shaking hands and trying to sell people on my pitch. It's like, just watch my videos, man.
That's the interesting thing, because the way you are on your YouTube channel, like I actually don't think that's how you are. Just like, like when we hung out like that, I went to the beach that one day.
Yeah.
You're much more quiet and reserved than you are on YouTube.
Yeah.
Me and Jordan were talking about that. She's like, it's so interesting when he's like that on Insta and stuff.
I get that all the time for sure. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's obviously the place for it, but it does seem to come very naturally. Like,
it's becoming more natural. I mean, like when I first started YouTube, I was very just like scared and like couldn't speak about anything really, but now I'm just more loose. Like I don't care because I feel more comfortable at a point in my life and in my career where I can just kind of just speak freely. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Whatever.
I feel like we should all be there. I mean, I have pulled back on it a little bit, not for like worrying about what people think. Although there is certain stuff I don't say because I just don't think people could wrap their head around it.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's more just like, is it productive?
Yeah.
I mean, calling people a pussy it can be productive.
It is. For sure it is.
It kind of jars people, right?
Yeah, it makes people realize what's going on. Because I think everybody right now is, well, they've always been like asleep, but it's more clear than ever that people are just doing the hamster wheel, dude. They're just like going along. And I've seen it more so now, and the reason why I'm so vocal about it is from being like on YouTube and being like doing seminars for all these years. I see the same people who are like
seminar
I'm ready to go. Yeah, I'm ready to go. And then I see them a year later.
Yeah.
Same thing. I see them 3 years later. Same thing. I haven't done anything. It's like, dude.
Do you find that it's just my buddy Nick always says this, like, just shoot first, figure it out later?
Yes.
Like, is that your mentality?
That's exactly how I am. And I think that's how we all are.
Just
like,
pull the trigger on it. Yeah. And I've been much more like that lately. I'm like, I don't really know, feel a little uncomfortable, but we'll just do it.
That's good. Yeah, just do it. Exactly. Like whatever. Like it's the arbitrage thing I'm doing. I'm like, it's gonna work. Like we know how to do Airbnb. We're really good at it, I think. Like, but I've never really done it on a scale the way we're doing it. I said, fuck it. I'm going to drop the hundreds of grands, get these units, furnish them. Yeah. We're going to see what's going to happen. I'm most likely it's going to be good, but we'll see.
So tell me the story. Like you're in Houston. That's where you're doing arbitrage?
We're doing arbitrage in like all across America, but we're actually starting off right now in Austin, Texas. Oh, so Austin, our next place we're going to go is Miami, Florida. Cincinnati's next. Probably like Milwaukee. We're looking at the other cities next, but
But how many have you secured so far?
So we have 3 that are up and go. They're going to be launched in like 2 days from filming this video, so we're ready to go.
Okay, so nothing launched yet.
Nothing launched yet. Just the ones we have in Florida, and then the one we have at home.
So you've had them since what, May 1?
May like 10th we got them.
Okay, so you're just setting them up.
Yeah, just setting them up, getting ready to go.
Did you go to Austin?
No, I had my COO fly down to Austin and do it for the first ones. But the next ones, since we have staff, he hired like a cleaner, a handyman, like a brand manager. So we kind of have the team. So the next ones, he won't have to fly all the way down. But for the first one,
Oh, okay, interesting.
But I haven't seen it. I haven't gone down. That's how I roll, man. I don't do these things.
That's beautiful. I'm working to get to that point. Yeah. Because we just bought another resort in Tobermory.
Nice.
And we're going to be Airbnb-ing. It's 4 cottages and a house on the water.
Yeah.
But it's just like setting up the team, getting everything going. We're just up there on the weekend, checking it out. First time I ever set eyes on it. Beautiful place, a little overwhelming as I pulled in. I got that little anxiety. I'm like,
oh no, it's go time.
But it's it's mainly just like landscaping and figuring out who your team is and stuff. I've been big on COO. I've been like promoting this for our group, that we have somebody that operates between our different facilities and just year round is trying to make them better.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's like handle everything that we kind of handle, because we're all sort of wearing a bit like the hat here and there, and then just somebody to manage. Because now at our camp, for instance, we've got I've lost track. I think we're at 8 employees right now.
That's crazy.
Active on site now.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, which, we need somebody to manage all those people.
Yeah.
Like I'm meeting them for the first time as we're going in, right? Which is kind of a cool feeling.
For sure. That's badass.
Also, it adds a layer of, complexity to my life too,
definitely.
right? So if you were me and you were in that situation, COO would be your probably next hire?
For sure. Just have somebody else like manage everything. Like basically what I always say and like what I do is just focus on videos and like raising capital. Like that's all I do.
Which is like undebatably your best.
Yeah, that's my best. That's
your
my
best use of time.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So I focus on those.
Because that's what you've done. Like if you look at what made you the most money, it would be finding and negotiating deals.
Yeah.
And raising capital. Those are probably the top things you do.
Yeah.
So
the other things you can hire out are easy. Like, a project manager, construction people, like a manager of whatever you're doing, your flips, whatever. Like those are easy hires. Once you get your mind wrapped around how easy it is. Because at first it's freaky, it's weird to hire someone, but what I said, like when I hired my first person, it was a project manager, and I was terrified. She was my first employee, but when I hired her, it was like a game changer. She made my whole life easier. I saved like 40 hours a week. It was insane. And I got like addicted to that feeling of like, whoa, I can just hire somebody like out of nowhere, take over all the crappy stuff I don't want to do. And then I just went on like a hiring spree.
This was like what, 3 years ago?
Yeah, like 3 or 4 years ago. Yeah. And I hired like everybody, like assistant realtor at the time when I was like more so into real estate.
Yeah.
Like my funds manager, like I just hired everybody. I just made up positions. I was like, I'm sick of e-transferring my private lenders every month. I'm going to hire a funds manager.
Like a financial controller.
So I just hired a funds manager to take care of all that. So I do nothing. All I do is real estate videos and raising capital.
That's really awesome. Nothing's changed since last year.
Yeah, it's all the same. We're just going harder. Yeah.
Yeah. You're pushing. Like you're obviously setting the fire.
Yeah.
To do this stuff and making the decision to do it. Right.
Yeah, exactly.
So in terms of like making that hire, are you still like just Indeed when you hire these positions?
No, that's the funny thing. I've hired every single one of my employees, except for like the carpenters, but every employee from Instagram.
Just
so
Instagram?
Like,
yeah, I'm hiring this position. Come join us.
And I think it helps like with the branding, like the brand I've built, people like want to work with us or for us in some way. So when I post a position up, like, hey, I need a project manager. I need this person. Like they're like, I'll do it, right? And I interview them and it's easy.
Anytime I've posted on Instagram, maybe I've done it wrong. I haven't got that kind of, we might know somebody, but it's more for like the lower level jobs. I think the higher level jobs, you start to get
people
more.
Want those.
People want those because it gives them a chance to learn and they're like taking a very like established position, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sure.
What do you think is like fair for a COO? Like what ballpark are you into like to start for something like that?
So I really like giving like my top people like equity or like stake in the companies rather than like a salary or $1 per hour. I really like my top guys to have an incentive in the business.
So, is it fully fully incentive based?
Yeah, so like my acquisition manager, for example, he's the guy who finds all the deals, talks to the motivated sellers.
Not a salary guy.
Not a salary.
That makes sense.
He's 20% of the deal, so of the flip profit. So whether it does good or not, he gets 20% of that. Who else is on my salary? So like the COO for their arbitrage is 33% of the business, of the net profit.
So it's not a salary thing.
Not a salary thing. I don't want salary because I want them to be incentivized. Like, hey, the better the job I do, the more I work, the more efficient I am, the more money I'm going to eventually make, which is what I want.
Minded people, right?
Yes.
You need that mentality, and I don't know how you describe that, but I'm assuming most of your followers kind of have at least a bit of that.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you want someone who's an entrepreneur and wants to be an entrepreneur, but they probably realize they can't do it on themselves. Like, they don't want to be the face. They don't want to be doing what we're doing right now. It's uncomfortable to them, but they want to run something. So just, so be my right-hand man kind of thing. I'll do the face stuff. I'll do all the weird shit.
Yeah. That's a incredible opportunity for somebody to like get to work beside you and just like learn the way you think. I love that the most, like sitting down with all these people. It's like, it turned my circle of people I hang out with into like something of very elite people. A lot of them, I still have my old friends too, but it's just before I know it, I start thinking like them. Like I notice I start to think like Carmen sometimes. My mother-in-law, for anyone who doesn't know that, I'm like, and she's like next level. But just like the way I kind of like, she gets herself into stuff always, right? And I don't mean in a bad way, but like just like you are, and I like we'll do it, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't stress her out. Like we'll just do it, we'll figure it out. We gotta raise this much by this date and close. Don't worry about that. We got that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you need.
Yeah, you gotta have that mentality. We were just talking about this before we got on, that I sent money $250 US and it's lost in wire space right now. I'm trying to, on top of everything to do.
We need Bitcoin to be better, man. We need all this.
Transferring. I mean, there's probably a better way to get money back and forth.
For sure.
And there's obviously all this red tape. And why don't you tell me, like, we're going to get back into the specifics of these, but like for people who are kind of on the fence about doing US stuff, because we both identified that's that's a hurdle a lot of people have to jump through if they want to like partner with you or me or whatever. Like they have to be able to wrap their head around what are the implications of investing in the US. So what's your perspective on that? Like what's challenging people, and maybe why shouldn't it be challenging?
Yeah, I think it's more of like a mental challenging thing. Like they think it's harder than it is. They think it's more impossible. But then right now I'm pushing back on like, well, if you don't, then like what's the alternative? You invest in Canada, you pay crazy taxes, you got to deal with the landlord tenant board. Like trust me, it's not hard. It's the same thing. And I always tell people, because people get stuck at the most on double taxation. That's the biggest roadblock, I think, in most people's minds. It's like, well, if I invest in the US, I get double tax. And people don't understand exactly how that works.
Yeah, only if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, they think that you're literally double taxed. Like you pay whatever, 20% in the US, and then you pay another 50% in Canada. It's like, that's not how it works. You pay up to the same, in like an easy nutshell. Basically, you pay the same whether you buy a property in Hamilton or Vancouver or the US. You pay the same tax rate.
Yeah.
So
so my understanding of, and I haven't had to pay any taxes yet, but I mean this year will be the year. But it's like whatever you pay in the US, you just get a credit for in Canada.
Exactly.
That's the way it's explained for me. That's if I'm doing it the way I'm doing it, which is with the LPGP structure, personal ownership. Whereas I think you did it with a corporation.
Yeah.
Right. So you're only going to be taxed when you dividend back to Canada.
Exactly.
Right?
So and my thing is that money's never coming back to Canada. Okay, it's going to stay in the U.S. So I'm never going to.
So you could pay yourself a salary, hypothetically, if you located into the U.S. as a tax resident, you could start paying yourself a salary down there.
The setup I have, the corporate structure is I'm never going to pay Trudeau a dime unless I bring the money back.
Yeah.
I'm only going to pay the like 22% tax. That's it.
Is that what it is in Florida for the?
Yeah. So Florida has no state tax, and then you pay the IRS 20,
like,
give or take, right?
C corp is like 22%.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
so somewhere between 20 and 22, give or take. So that's the tax rate down there, as opposed to 50 here. So like as long as I don't bring the money back, I just keep it in the US. I buy more things. I do more arbitrage. I buy more property. I just keep it in the US.
Yeah.
I'll only pay 22% tax.
So my understanding of the reason people would want to do that is if they had money in corporations in Canada and didn't want to take it out personally, pay the tax on it to send it down.
Or if they really want to go nuts in the US and they know I'm going to go buy 10, 20, 30 properties, then you do the whole corporate structure.
Yeah.
But I'm telling my partners, like if you want to buy one partner or one property with me in Florida, one in Texas, probably not worth it to do what I got.
Yeah.
Just keep it personal, keep it easy.
Yeah.
You pay the same taxes if you bought in Hamilton, just easy peasy.
And I think, well, I mean, the availability of the public information down there, I think a lot of people don't want to put stuff in their own name. Yeah. Because it's all right there. All you have to do is just like go search the county website and you can find exactly like everything I own. You can just look it up by name. So I really didn't want to have anything in my name. But it's litigious down there too. So people don't want to do that. But so I did the LPGP structure, which basically means on a personal standpoint, that's where I'm reporting the income back here, which isn't like fantastic. I don't love that. I'd rather it going through my corporate structure. Yeah. But I guess I don't know why my accountant said this is the way to go.
Literally everybody I talk to, everybody is like, my accountant said this, my accountant said this. It's different. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I hope my accountant's right. I don't know.
Yeah. I just thought, people would do your structure based on the fact that they're going to, they have the money in the corp. You obviously don't want to pull it out, dividend yourself, and end up paying 50%. Take that money using your corp and send it down. Obviously, anyone check with your accountant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously anyone listening, go check with your accountant before you do anything. So obviously one of the hangups, people are worried. Like I think it's just the overwhelm. Like where would I even start? Like I don't know. Do people still file their own taxes? I mean, in our space, I feel like
you should.
No one does. But I mean, if I talk to like a family member, like, oh yeah, we got to file using whatever. Okay, I don't do that.
Yeah, I don't use NetFile or whatever. You file whatever the hell. Yeah.
They ask me questions. I'm like, I don't know how to
I don't know.
I have a general idea of how this stuff works, but I don't want to fill out those forms. So I think that it's all the same as it is for anything. Like it's your team. Like if your accountant's good, they'll do it for you and you don't have to worry.
Yeah, and I think it's like the tax hang up, but I think the also hang up is like the distance. Which I don't know why people get so hung up on it. I mean, if you live in Mississauga or whatever, like there's no way you're investing in Mississauga. It's crazy. It's too expensive. So where are you gonna go? Kitchener, Windsor? Well, you might as well just make the jump to Florida. Like you're not driving down to Windsor anyway. So
no, you're not.
You might as well just come to the U.S. It's the same thing.
At least it's somewhere you would want to go.
Yeah.
But I think the big difference is, and having done it twice, because I first invested in the U.S. in 2012. Back then, I like wanted it to work. Yeah. So my want for it to work caused me to abandon like my gut feel, my intuition, and I learned some hard lessons that way. Now, like when I did this, I spent a lot of time on due diligence, a lot of time vetting my team and just making sort of logical steps to work with people who had something to lose.
Yeah, for sure.
Which, I mean, I know in your case, like what they have to lose is being a part of a team that smashes commissions and stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about like hiring GCs if you do, and I know you do that internally here.
For sure.
But down there, you would probably hire a GC.
Yeah, like we did it in Florida when we renovated our house down there. We did it. It was actually super smooth. But I think the thing is that because I am a carpenter and I've done this so many times, I know what to look for, I guess, like in certain people. Even if it's over the phone. Like
you get the vibe, right?
Yeah, like I hire these contractors over email and the phone. I can just get the vibe from the email.
Yeah,
just tell.
You know what the flags are, the red flags, and like the questions they ask. Like, I don't so much worry about deposits with like our camp and stuff. Like it's small stuff, but I mean, generally, especially with new people, if I have a weird vibe about them, I'm like, no way for a deposit.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Not happening. But here's what we'll do. But then there's other people where they just get it. Like for instance, the builder I worked with, I had to send her like $73,000 to get things rolling.
Exactly.
Which would be like, I would never have done that.
Yeah, for sure.
But the connections were just like, okay, there's no way this lady's messing around.
Yeah.
And I've been fortunate. You know, there's no issue there.
There's always a risk, but most of the time, most people are good people, right? So
I don't know about that. I think if you're trusting your intuition, you're more likely to succeed.
For sure.
I think in the States, even more so than in Canada, there's a lot of people ready to just take your money and make you feel like the bad guy.
For sure. And there is like the only times I've gotten screwed by contractors, even in Canada, is when I had a gut feeling. I knew it
and you went against
right away. And I was like, dude, I got to get this done though. Just do it. And then they're the ones that fucked me. Yeah. So like every time. So that's why I just trust my gut now with everything. Yeah.
And that's like probably the biggest lesson I've learned in my 30s is just like always above all else, trust your gut. Like what's my gut saying to me? And then the only challenge I find with that is sometimes if I wait too long, I'm like, what's my gut saying now? I can't even tell.
Yeah.
But what was it saying when I first thought about doing this?
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes like, for instance, with the camp, my gut was, holy crap, there's gonna be a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it could be something really cool and really scalable.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much been exactly that.
Exactly.
Like what was your gut on doing the Airbnb arbitrage? Did you think, hey, this will be no problem, this is something I want to do?
Yeah.
Or was it like, it
was more so like interesting to me. Like I was interested by the concept, but didn't really pursue it because I wanted to just do like the buy and hold stuff. But I always knew like, hey, that's probably a great business if you know how to do it well.
Yeah.
So my gut feeling on it, especially now, is like, this is a really good idea. Because from what I've seen from doing Airbnb in Florida and staying in so many Airbnbs across the world, and especially in Florida, is that like 99% of them suck. Like they're just awful. Like staying in so many Airbnbs for the drive down and then the drive up. We stayed in a ton just from that. And they suck. Like they're just shit from IKEA. Like they're all the furniture is falling apart. It's sparsely decorated. Like it's terrible. And we pride ourselves on like the HGTV-ness of our properties. They look great. The staging's amazing. Everything's on point. So I was like, dude, if we do this on a bigger scale, we're gonna crush all these people.
Rachel just has a knack for that stuff.
She's just like amazing at design.
Yeah, you guys do really nice stuff. Like your place down there looks really good, and all the photos I've seen of your place too, like looks amazing.
Yeah.
So that helps, right?
For sure. And like
your staging too, right? The one you staged, you flipped one and it was like a semi-detached.
Yeah.
You made like 100 and something.
Yeah, you had 150 grand on that flip.
Yeah.
I think partly because of the staging.
I think the staging crushed.
Yeah.
So I haven't gone that far in Florida yet. I did virtual staging and it jacked our showings up. Like but I mean, you don't want people disappointed when they walk in.
Yeah.
So I contemplate, like, what do you think it's worth? Is it worth what you spend, right? Because you can spend 10 grand.
Always.
You can spend 10 grand staging a place.
That'd be a lot. That'd be a lot.
It would be.
If you hire a stager, from what I understand, like in Canada anyway, it's typically between like 2,000, like 2,500, give or take, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So, which is why for our flips, that's too much. So we just buy it all. We use it over. So we buy all of our furniture in-house, stage in-house.
In the US, I was looking at like $5,000.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a lot.
It
sucks.
Is, right? Well, and then you're renting it, right? Like I was thinking, like, do I buy it?
Charge you for that too, for like...
Yeah, like if it goes longer.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, do I just buy it? But now I have to store it.
Exactly, right?
But I'm flipping multiple. I'm constantly building. So as long as I keep the same themes, maybe it makes sense to just do that.
Oh yeah, we stage like every house is the same. So we just keep all of our stuff.
Just move
and every house is the same. We just move it over house to house to house.
I love the ease that you present hiring people with. It's like, we just have a team for that.
Yeah.
Like, and I find the same. Like it's just, it took me forever to get to that point.
Yeah.
Which I think it took you a while too, right?
It took me a long time, dude. Like 8-9 years before I hired my first employee.
Yeah.
I was doing everything myself.
Like for me, like a lot of times I felt like I wasn't ready. Like I'm like, where's the money coming from to pay for that?
Exactly.
But it actually seems to come because of that.
Yeah, that's true. It's a really hard thing to grasp. Like you got to spend money to make money kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it still wasn't good enough for me. I was still like, I understand that, but fuck that. The only time I hired someone was when we were private lending. At that point, I sold off so much real estate. I was private lending. We were making like 20, 25, 30 grand a month from private lending. I was like, okay, I can afford to spend 10 grand on a team, knowing I got this every month, plus what we're doing in like active income. So like, that's the only time for me that I was like, okay, now I'm ready.
Yeah.
I still say that's too late. Don't do what I do, but that's for me. That's when I was like, okay, now I'm ready to hire someone.
Similar experience for me when I was flipping in London. Like, well, first, trying to like do BRRRRs and stuff. I knew the margin in the deals. It's like, obviously I'm not going to go swing the hammer and do everything myself. I was like one of the first times in my life I felt like I could truly justify hiring like good help.
For sure.
And then obviously it gets a little tougher when you get into these white collar positions because I know that I can do any one of those jobs probably better.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just I only have so much time in the day.
Yeah.
It's one thing when you know you're not good at something.
Yeah.
But when you know you're good at
it's true.
It's harder to hand it off to somebody else.
Yeah, and that's the hard thing we have as like entrepreneurs and type mentalities. Like we know we can do all this stuff better than everybody else. Like I know in the majority of the roles in my business, I could probably do it better than some of them because I care more. That like it comes down to just caring more because it's my business.
Yeah.
But you just gotta let go, man. Like let go.
Yeah, you let go. So for most people who are sort of in a business that's got several properties, maybe they're growing and it's an active side of things, they're probably going to want either like an assistant in my observation, or even go the next step and get like an operating officer.
For sure.
That just runs everything.
Yeah, and just give them a piece of the company, like a piece of the profit.
That works here too? Like, works here, works in the States?
Works everywhere. I think that's the best thing is like, I'd rather have you in rather than just like working for me. Because I've had tons of people and that work for me, carpenters, like all my lower level stuff. Yeah. And like they're employees. Let's be real. Like they're all great people, like, but they fuck around. I fucked around when I was an employee, so I know how it is, dude. Like I fucked around tons when I was like employee carpenter. So that's okay for like the lower level roles, but the high sales role, the important roles, I don't want that. I need you in, man, in like it's your company because it is.
Yeah, and the way to achieve that is they get a piece.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So do you just get like a lawyer to draft up these like,
no, dude,
agreements?
Like literally, it's all word of mouth. It's just a handshake. Like
here's what you're gonna get. I like that, man.
It's all trust. Like it's all based on trust. Yeah.
That's perfect. So let's talk about some of these Florida arbitrage deals. First off, how did you find them?
Yeah, so I had my COO. He's the one looking for them. He took all the courses and stuff for arbitrage. He knows the back end arbitrage. I obviously know like all the front end design, what kind of houses I want to get. Like I know all the construction stuff. So together, I think we've made a really good team. And he's also really good friends with one of the biggest Airbnb coaches, which I found out. I won't say his name, but like he's one of the biggest ones ever out there. And he's just buddies with them, so you can just ask him whatever question he wants. So I was like, okay, you're my COO. But he's really good at all the back end stuff. So yeah, he found all of them. He knew what to do. He basically just messaging people on Realtor.com, Zillow, who have rentals. You just message them, hey, this is what I do. I'm a corporate rental guy. Like,
Yeah, could I rent it from you? So the same story that you hear.
Same story, all the same stuff. So yeah, he found them all. And we just go from there.
Down there they call it corporate housing, right?
We just call it corporate rentals. Which
people know means Airbnb, but you say it without saying it.
You say smoother.
It might not be Airbnb, but it most likely is.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you can get like nurses and stuff. So I've had Karsten Howe on this show. He was talking about, actually this was something he told me offline, but he has like a 17 unit building that he secured.
Yes, I know, it's crazy.
And they're renting all of them.
Yeah.
Like $2,000 profit per unit.
That's exactly what we're projecting for the Austin houses is $2,000 per
profit
unit
per
month.
House.
Yeah.
So $6,000 that looks to be on the books.
Yeah.
What kind of investment were you looking at to get that?
So it's about like for us, we do a little more than most people do, but it's about 25-30K, I would say, all in for first month, like deposit, security deposit, the furniture, the handyman to put up curtain rods and like the Ring doorbell, like stuff like that. It's about 25-30 grand to set up. Some people will be like, you should never spend more than like 15 grand. Your units look like shit. They're IKEA shit. They look terrible.
25-30 per
unit.
Oh,
give or take.
I remember you saying this. Yeah, you spend more on.
I spend a little more on the furniture for sure.
Yeah.
Because my biggest pet peeve is going to an Airbnb and I can just tell, dude. I can just tell it's like there's like one couch in this giant room and there's like a little table and a TV. That's it. There's like no plans. There's no art on the wall. There's nothing.
Yeah.
So, and that, from what I've seen on our business so far, that really reflects, like the 2 Airbnbs we have right now are just crushing. And the best thing is the comments, like the reviews are like insane. Yeah. They're just like, this is the best house ever. It's so nice. Oh my God. And it's all based on the staging and how nice the house looks. Mm-hmm. When you go see other Airbnb stuff and you read the comments, it's like, nice house, good place. But you know what I mean? Like,
the
it's
bed's
not.
Got to be comfortable.
Yes.
The pillow's got to be like awesome.
That's where we spend the most money. We buy good bed, like super good mattresses. In Florida, we're doing Tempur-Pedic because we want. And the comments literally are like, "This is the best night's sleep I ever had. Such a nice house." Like the comments are crazy.
Yeah.
And it's getting rented like insane. Like the Florida, even my property manager down there, because for now that one's property manager. We'll take it back in house later. But he's even like, "Dude, I don't get why your house is crazy. Like it's not that nice. Like let's be real. Like there's like new builds all around us that are sick, right? Our house is a little older, but it just looks nice." But he even said like, "I don't know why your house is crushing so hard." I was like, "Well, I know why. I know why. It's the furniture." Yeah,
your photos look really good for that too. He did that. Your manager.
Yeah, we just hired like a real estate photographer. He's just
so you got the photos for him.
Yeah.
Okay. Because if you let him take the photos, he might not have had a photographer, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of taking control in key parts.
Yeah. But he takes care of all. For now, he takes care of like everything. Ongoing, right? So which is cool.
I think you were saying it was like 15%.
15%. That's why I'm
like unheard of.
It's really low. So that's why I'm like, maybe I won't take it in house for now.
Yeah, it's like everybody seems to want 20, but I mean, to get it for 15, I think you're
really your price.
You're doing well. I mean, as you grow, you're probably gonna want to bring it in house.
Yeah,
you're already in house in Austin.
Yeah, so the more we get in Florida, we'll just take it. We'll take it back. But
And so where do you foresee being the next place for major growth? Is it more in Texas, or will Florida be an arbitrage state for you, or is Florida just pure acquisitions?
Florida's mostly acquisitions. I will do arbitrage for sure in Miami, just for like more luxury-ish rentals. But Florida's for sure more like buy. Let's buy there. Whereas the other states are just more pass-through states.
See, I'd buy like long-term rentals in Texas, I think.
Yeah, totally.
Like that seems like a market where like your dollar still goes so far.
Yeah.
And then obviously the rules for landlords is like way better.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Low taxes, but it's just like the price. That's why I can't do Canada anymore. Can't do it. Mm-hmm. Like the single-family houses, to buy. First off, they won't even cash flow. There's no way. But let's just say they would. We're buying houses for $700K in Kitchener, minimum for like a nice single-family home. But the average Canadian salary is like what, 50 grand? Yeah. So for them to pay the rent, to charge the rent in order for it to cash flow, it's impossible. Down there in Texas, the average income in Texas is 40 grand. So not that much lower. Mm-hmm. But the houses we're buying are 180 grand. Yeah. So they cash flow like crazy.
Makes way more sense.
So like, why would I buy anything in Canada? Like, and then the taxes, and then the landlord tenant board, and no, like we're just done.
Yeah, I mean, I actually just looked this up the other day because I heard you say it and I wanted to confirm it. But yeah, sure enough, 50 grand average income in Canada. Yeah, like that's low. That's absolutely
for the
insane.
amount of prices the housing are. It's crazy.
And I saw Jacob Perez posted a story that you would have to be in the top 5% to afford an average home
in GTA area or just like anywhere.
I think that's general in Canada now, right? Because we doubled. The cost of the average home in Canada doubled since 2015, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly the main point I'm talking about, is why I can't buy anymore, because I think Canada had its day. Canada was amazing. I'm lucky and thankful that I started investing in 2012.
Yeah,
I had my doubling of the real estate values 2 times almost. Like real estate doubled almost twice. I can't see that happening ever again for decades. Like real estate in Canada can't double again. What, like an average house in Kitchener, 700 grand. Is it really going to be 1.4 for a fixer upper in 5 years? I don't know.
I think it's really a factor of just how many people come in from other countries, right? Because they're the ones that are going to bring money where they earned it in a country that didn't tax the living hell out of them, and they had the money to bring into Canada, and then they drive up the asset prices, and unless we just become like this tenant society, which I think we're kind of on.
Leading to
we're kind of on track to that. Yeah. So maybe it can, where just like nobody owns anymore. You just got your hedge fund investors and large real estate owners that just.
It's definitely
everything.
Possible. It would take a lot.
What's their yield,
for that,
right? Yeah, what's their yield on their investment? I don't know how they would justify it, but. I hear your point. I mean, I guess the only thing that could change it is if inflation gets to a point where salaries actually start coming up enough to. But I mean,
well, Christ, they gotta go from 50K to 100K per person to afford these homes. Like, I just can't see it. It's possible, but I can't see it.
And I've said this so many times. Like, water flows to the lowest point. People are going to pick markets to live in that their dollar can stretch far enough to allow for, right? That's why so many people went out to Alberta, because their dollar went further, even though, the weather's worse. Yeah. They do have mountains,
Everything's worse in Alberta, let's be real.
Except for the mountain skiing. You got some great skiing out there, and I do love it for that. But, there's obviously certain advantages, and their landlord-tenant rules are great. Yeah. But then you have all these people going to the States because they just think it makes sense. And as far as like, if I were going to choose a place to live, if I were in the States, like I pick warm climate,
exactly,
affordable.
right? Yeah.
Like I'm going to be looking for places like Florida and Texas.
Exactly. That's the thing is like the real estate we're buying in Texas is 180 grand for a house. Like, can I see realistically that house doubling in value from 180 to 360? Yeah, for
Totally,
sure.
that's possible.
Can it double from 360 to 720? Well, sure. We see it here in Kitchener. Yeah. So I think there's more room for values to grow. Whereas Canada, I think we're done. Like I think it's tapped out. We're done.
So it's going to stagnate a bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
If it was logical, but we don't live in a logical world.
Oh yeah, I know. We come back to this like. If financial, like, you know, if banks were responsible, like I pointed out that I had recorded this video calling out the whole inflation thing from like week 2 of the lockdowns. I'm like, here's what's going to happen. Like 3 years later, that intro like aged like fine wine.
Nice.
I'm like, how did little old me get this all right? Yeah. And it's because it was completely obvious.
Yeah. Just economics 101. It's just like the fundamentals.
Yeah, there's like they try to make it seem like it's complicated at the high level. Like, oh, we take all these different factors. No, it's very simple. Like a kindergartner could probably understand it, at least a grade 4.
Yeah, but the problem is general society is not even at a grade kindergarten level of economics.
They just get confused, right? Like there's so much noise that people just check out. Like, it's too complicated. Whereas guys like you and I, or I'm more you these days, like have the time to think about it.
Yeah.
And
we're just more obsessed with it. That's all it is people have the like brain, knowledge to grasp it.
Yeah.
They're just too busy. They got kids, they got their job, life is happening to them. Yeah. They don't have time to come home and read a fucking Rich Dad Poor Dad book for 4 hours. They got kids, they got bedtime. Like I get it.
Yeah. If you don't do it before kids, man.
Yeah. That's honestly,
figure it out.
That's the thing. So like people are just stuck on a hamster wheel, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And maybe they like to be,
That's the least, in the short term, I think it's the least painful thing.
For sure.
In the long term, more painful and not great.
So people do what's easy now, for sure.
So are you of the opinion that like pretty much anyone like following you should start investing in the US?
Honestly, like you can still make money in Canada. I'm still making money in Canada with the flips. Canada's a great place to flip real estate because everybody's a gong show. It's just crazy. So like flipping here is amazing, but buy and hold, you can still make money. You can still get wealthy for sure if you really want to stay in your own backyard, but why?
It's going to be a little harder, right? A lot of people go to Sudbury, like you said, Windsor. You're already going to another place. Yeah,
and the thing I always say about that is like, why go there? Like, what's in Sudbury, dude? What's in Sturgeon Falls? It's not exciting. Like, why are you going there to buy real estate? Like, I get it's cheaper, but the fundamentals are not there long term. Like, the job growth just isn't there. You're going there because it's cheaper, for sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, how about we get the same value you're spending, but how about let's put you 30 minutes from an ocean in Florida? Would you rather own in Naples, Cape Coral area? Yeah. Or would you rather own fucking Sudbury, Ontario, Canada? Like some shit ass house for the same price? I'd rather go to Florida. I don't know about you, but like, so that's my argument. It's like, why are you even going to Alberta? Yeah. Why are you going to Halifax? Like, let's be real. Nothing's going on there, dude.
For me, I've always wanted to like own stuff I would actually live in.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of like a negative in some ways because you don't want to just do that. You might leave some money on the table if you do that. But owning in a place I would want to go to.
Yeah.
I like Florida. And you made a comment. You said you think that the opportunity is now. I think there's a lot of signs that it is. Like who knows anything for sure, but I mean, even down there, the values seem to have bottomed out.
Yeah.
Like there was a correction, not nearly as much as our correction.
Yeah, which is interesting. Lots of reasons for that, which is cool.
But they've now started to see things kind of rebounding.
Especially Southern Florida. It's like, it's becoming a gong show again. Like it's coming back. And it's basically just fundamentals because everybody knows, okay, this is it. This is for what we're seeing, the height of inflation or the inflation numbers they're telling us. This is the height of inflation. This is the height of interest rates. We know the bank's going to be cutting rates in the next 6 to 12 months. We know it. They've already told us. Like it's just, they have to. They can't do it, especially in Canada. Maybe the States can hold for longer and they will, but Canada, dude, they don't have much more time.
I thought Mecklam said that it was no immediate plans.
They talk. What I love about Canada specifically, and from studying politics from like
you can't believe
2012, Canada's the king and queens of saying something,
and doing
seeing what the market reaction is, and they're amazing split testers. It's amazing stuff to watch. But let's be real. There's economic fundamentals. You got to cut those rates, bro. Like you can't hold them for much longer. You can talk and say, well, maybe we will. No, you're not. We all know you're going to be cutting soon. So all the ones in the know what's coming, and the realtors are telling their clients. So like the market is like, okay, this is it. Let's go. And we're seeing the market come back again.
Well, the Ontario market's already
it's already roaring.
In this cycle has already come back.
Yeah.
Who knows when the next cycle downward comes, but I mean, in this cycle seems to be back.
Yep. So like this doom and gloom 2008, everybody was like, this time is gonna, well, you're wrong again. You're wrong again.
It just doesn't seem like there's any profit in being doom and gloom.
Yeah. No.
It's what do I do next and what do I feel comfortable with?
Yeah, exactly.
So as far as the direction outside of the Airbnbs, like what else is on the menu for what you're doing? Like obviously arbitrage is decent. You're into each unit for what, $30,000?
Yeah, exactly. 30 grand a unit.
So you're going to pay back in the first year, you figure?
Yeah, exactly. Quite? First 7 to 8 months is we should be paid back, give or take.
Well, if you're only $2,000, then I guess that would be only 24 grand.
Yeah, some months are $2,000. Like the summer is like better, 3. So like it's give or take about 7 to 8 months.
Summer's going to be better?
Summer's better,
in Austin.
Yeah, in Texas,
it must be brutally hot down there.
It's disgustingly hot. But the tourism down there, the business cycle, apparently like Austin from like April to October is like hot season. And then it kind of cools down a bit for the
literally
winter.
and figuratively.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I haven't even been to Florida in like the summer, but I hear it's horrible.
Disgusting.
Yeah. I've been up to May 10th.
Yeah.
And it was like melting.
Yeah. Well, like even like early April, we were like, dude, kind of can't wait to go back to Canada. Like it's so hot.
I think you guys came back just a little too early.
Too early. God damn it.
We came back May 10th. That first year we did like the long stay.
Yeah.
And that was like perfect time. Yeah. Like if I had my way, it'd be December 26th through May 10th.
Yeah,
that's
perfect.
Like just get me out of here for that time frame.
That's the dream right there.
Are you going to be doing that again next year?
I think next year, we came back like April 25th, and we got that cold snap. It was like, God, too early, like a week or two too early, and the rain. Yeah, so it was like, damn,
horrible.
Yeah.
So are you back to my question? What are you thinking for like the next thing outside of the arbitrage?
So we're just I'm using the arbitrage as a proof of concept, basically to show everybody like, hey, stop being a pussy, and then we're gonna go harder on buying properties in Texas or in Florida for Airbnb partners, long-term holds, right? So I'm just using the arbitrage. It's a great business. I'm going to keep doing it because it makes a lot of money, but it's really meant for a proof of concept to just give everybody the finger.
So you would take like, you want Airbnb investors in Florida.
Yes, that's the goal. That's where you make the money, dude. Like the arbitrage stuff is fun. It's cool. It's cash flow. But like, let's be real. You make the real money owning real estate. Yeah. So let me show you, and then we're gonna go down and we're gonna own real estate.
So how do you approach like an individual deal? Like I know like on your flips, like you were always aware there's a chance that you're gonna eat it on one or two, right? And if it happens, it happens. And I know you shut things down for a little bit when the fall happened, and then started it back up.
Exactly.
What do you think about contingency planning in Florida when you go with Airbnb? Because obviously it's not really that great on the monthly rental side yet.
Yeah.
It could improve over time.
For sure.
And it probably will.
Yeah.
But like, what do you think for contingency planning? Obviously, plan A is do Airbnb. Are you ever suspecting that there might be an issue on the Airbnb side? Like, I mean, the economy would have to get real bad for that to happen.
We've seen it. With the pandemic, like Airbnb still killed it. Obviously, there was like 3 or 4 months nobody was renting, but after that, everybody was killing it. Right now is a decent size fear of recession. We haven't really felt the economic recession yet, but it's in everybody's mind. But Airbnb are still killing it. They're still making record money. People are still vacationing. So yeah, it would take a lot for people to stop vacationing or traveling for work, which is more like the Texas play for our Airbnbs. Yeah. But yeah, so I think it's a good play. The backup play is obviously just a long-term rental, which is not really a good play. I think, like you said before,
that might be a slight
Florida.
Loser in the short run, at least.
So the only play is to make our properties look better than everybody else's, which we got down pat. So that's the only play.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, never be average.
Yeah, and we proved that concept.
Yeah, you're obviously not doing that. You're staging your places better. You're probably setting new precedents. Because I sent you that message. I'm like, so are you on average like selling for more than everybody else? Yeah, and I could see why you would. Yeah, right? Taking better photos, staging
the renovations we do. Like, it's more of a design approach. And it's thoughtful rather than just like a handyman doing some renovation.
So you don't need to be a victim of the current market.
No.
So number one, take that off the table. Don't be a victim of the current market.
And we go for like slightly higher end clientele. Like the one in Naples, obviously Naples is higher clientele just off the bat because it's so expensive. But even when we do the ones in Cape Coral, we're buying slightly better houses. 4-bedroom houses is really what we're going after. So we can get 2 families in to split the money. So that's a key factor there. So they can pay more. We're renovating the level of renovations are way higher than everybody else. And the staging's on point, the beds are on point. Everybody's just like, dude, this house is nice.
So this is something you're ready to do. It's just a matter of, somebody coming in and partnering on it.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Cape Coral would be the shot.
Most likely, that general area for sure.
Yeah. As I mentioned to you before, I sold my first flip in Cape Coral and trying to get the money back to Canada, which is fun.
Gong show.
Gong show shouldn't be hard, but when your $250,000 wire just kind of doesn't arrive, gets rejected. Yeah. Those things can be fun. Yeah. So, I think that's a fantastic market. Cape Coral is kind of like that. It's weird because it's so close to Naples. And in Southwest Florida, that warm, you're not going to find lower price points.
And most importantly is like the freehold aspect of you can do what you want with rentals.
Yeah, there are no there's no what do they call it, HOAs?
Yeah, exactly. So you can do whatever you want, which is
there
very
probably
rare.
are some HOAs, but I mean, mostly not. It's mostly just free lots,
which most of South Florida is HOA in some capacity. Like you might not even know it driving through a neighborhood, but that neighborhood is HOA, so you can't do what you want to do.
Yeah, basically it just means like, and all the HOAs in Naples pretty much say you can't do Airbnb. So you're in like I know a handful of investors that are all in that Naples Park.
Yeah, it's just a little pocket, a little neighborhood. The only place in Naples where you can do what you want.
You can do whatever you want, and there's big money being earned in there. Like if you didn't rent your place out, what do you think it would do on a year?
Like for just revenue? Basic long-term rental?
No. If you didn't, take it for yourself.
Oh, yeah.
For a few months.
Oh my God. I didn't even calculate it, but like we're talking probably like 150K. 130, 150 gross income. Yeah.
I think you could do even better than that.
Yeah. Cause like in the winter months, like literally from November 1st to April 30th, it's 25 grand a month. So I got to do the math on it. I haven't even done it. Yeah. But it's a lot. And then the other months are like 15 grand a month, 12 grand a month.
How's your summer looking right now? Is it
all booked up?
So it's 15 to 20?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like it's totally booked. And like when we bought it, like I said before many times, I always thought Florida was like, nobody goes to Florida in the summertime, dude, right? Like why would you go there? It's nice in New York. It's nice in the Hamptons, like whatever, right? But my property manager was like, trust me, all the southern states, Georgia, Louisiana, whatever, all those guys come for the summer to party. Like for all the events, right? I was like, yeah, right. Okay, whatever, right? Anyway, the whole summer is fucking booked as of right now. It's booked from now until we go next year for January 30th. I'll be shocked if you didn't go, like if you'd be even a cent under 200 G's. Yeah. Like, I feel like you should be dirty, be over 200 G's. And if it is at that price, does it make sense to do more in that area? Oh, for sure. It totally makes more. The problem is you just need big money. Right? Like that house we bought was 1.26 million. It was still a fixer upper. We still put 120 G's in it. So like, dude, I would love to do more Naples. I can crush Naples, but I need partners who got deep ass pockets, and they're already scared now to do a 180 grand house in Texas.
So you start Cape Coral and then just go with that from there. All right, Matt, great catching up with you. Anything you would want to cover, like big takeaways or common questions you get that you think people need to hear?
Take action, man. Stop being a bitch. That's literally like that's my thing right now, is just everybody's so terrified for nothing. They're not thinking logically. They're letting the media tell them how to think. And it's cool to take in the media. I read it every day to see what's going on, but I know how to think logically around it and go, I'm going to take this information and then I'm going to crush it because I know the fundamentals of what's going on. And real estate is always a great play if you know what you're doing.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing. You not to say you can't lose, but you gotta at some point take some action.
Yeah, like you can't just stay on the hamster wheel and do nothing.
Yeah, for sure. So where do people find you or send their trolling remarks?
Yeah. Best trolling place is YouTube, The Fruitful Investor. Type in that in YouTube, you'll find me. Instagram, definitely more if you want to follow me on my day-to-day life. DM me, talk to me for real. Instagram. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, we'll share that there. And I think you've been posting a few videos a week for like many years.
Yeah. We post 2 videos a week on YouTube. We're up to now 2 reels a day across all social medias like Instagram and stuff. So we're pumping it out.
Big team. Yeah. So legit, big takeaway I have from you is, man, like no messing around. Like big boy business, running it like a true entrepreneur. And man, it's great talking to you. I love doing this. Awesome. We'll keep our annual interviews up. All right, thanks, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
There are a lot of people out there talking about the infinite banking strategy and whether or not it makes sense for them. To find out what it's all about and if it's a fit for you, visit controlandcompound.com/Andrew Hines, where my audience can gain exclusive access to books, podcasts, and webinars tailor-made for real estate investors.